My whole life, I've been fascinated with teachers. My grandpa taught for 50 years, and my dad's been teaching for about 25. Also, I've been in school for about as long as I can remember and constantly surrounded by educators, so naturally my interest shifted that way. My name's Ben Spackman, and I am an aspiring teacher. I'm majoring in social studies and plan to teach history at the high school level. I chose to go down this route because I think that teaching is majorly important, not just in schools, but everywhere, and that is what I will be talking to you all about today. I would like to preface this essay by stating this: I'm not talking exclusively about school teachers. Teaching goes far beyond schools and colleges. Being a teacher can take many forms and often doesn't involve a classroom with a whiteboard and projector. Teaching can be as simple as showing someone how to tie their shoes or as complex as rocket science. And even though I am trying to emphasize teaching in general, not just within schools, many great examples and teaching methods do come from dedicated teachers. Sometimes it's easy to overlook the teachers in our lives. We learn so much all the time, and it becomes so natural that sometimes we don't even see some of the things that we learn. We need to take a step back every once in a while and think about some of the teachers in our lives and think back on all the things that we learned from them. Sometimes I randomly have the thought that I had to be taught how to go to the bathroom, brush my teeth, or ride a bike. And these are things that I've always, as far as I can remember, known how to do. It's easy to forget that we started our lives without all of that knowledge, but because of good teachers, here we are going to the bathroom all on our own. First, let's look at some qualities and concepts that good teachers use. Skills such as communication, presenting challenges, and offering lifelong lessons. Communication is so important in teaching because it fosters an environment where the learner can understand and find interest in the subject. Dr. Daniel Tangway says it best in an article written by Southern New Hampshire University. When it comes to effective teaching, strong communication skills are a must. Communication is a tool for overcoming fear. The second important concept is presenting a challenge. Presenting a challenge can help the learner grow in an assortment of ways. If you're teaching someone something that is difficult to them, for example, riding a bike, the learner is not only going to learn the skill of riding a bike, they're also going to learn valuable skills like perseverance or bravery. These kinds of skills are lifelong skills and can be applied to a wide variety of things in that learner's life, which leads to the last concept that good teachers use: presenting lifelong lessons. Teaching lifelong lessons is so important because they're much more useful for the learner in the long run, offering information and inspiration to the learner later down the road. Next, I would like to give an example of an unexpected teacher in my life. For context, I am a soldier in the Army National Guard, and for 8 months in 2022 to 2023, I was training to become a soldier. In training, I didn't expect to learn very much from my drill sergeants besides basic soldier skills, and while we did learn those things, I learned a few things that I wasn't expecting during training. During training, if somebody messed up, everybody would be punished for that, and at first, everyone in my platoon of about 30 people would get really frustrated when somebody made a mistake because we'd all be punished. But as we progressed through training, we built camaraderie and trust with each other through all the tough training and punishments. I've always had an I can do it myself type of attitude, but basic training forced me to learn how to work with others. And it was a hard lesson to learn, and I wasn't expecting to learn it from my drill sergeants, but I'm very grateful that I did. Now, everybody knows that teachers are important, but quite often people forget the significance of teachers and good education in people's lives. It's easy to forget that we learned everything at some point, and as we get older, that appreciation for education and good teachers goes away. We can see that as a whole, people don't hold teachers to a high regard based on how teachers are paid here in America. According to an article by Sylvia Allegretto titled "The Teacher Pay Penalty Has Hit a New High," the pay gap between teachers and other college graduates with the same level of education has increased by 10% in the last 40 years, with teachers now getting paid 23.5% less than their college-educated peers. These numbers suggest that many people don't appreciate the importance of good teachers and a solid education system. But good teaching is an invaluable thing. Putting more emphasis on teaching personally and through school systems is very important for achieving the goal of a world where everybody has a strong education and understands the significance of being educated. Teaching is very important, and as mentioned earlier, takes many forms. There are many ways of teaching and many different types of teachers. My drill sergeants at basic training don't teach the same way that a high school teacher might. Parents teach children in a different way than an older sibling might teach a younger sibling. Regardless of all of this, people are capable of teaching others something important that they know. Teaching can be about something complex or something very simple. One thing remains consistent about teaching though: every time someone is taught something new, they improve. Anyone can teach and anyone can learn, and that's the beautiful thing about it. I encourage all of you to do two things, and they may seem really simple, but I consider them to be majorly important. First, look for opportunities to teach others. It may not seem obvious in the beginning, but every single person has something that they can impart to another, an idea, a certain mindset, or a character trait. Anyone can be a teacher in one facet or another as long as they are willing to teach. Everyone can learn something from everyone, and that brings me to my next request. Always be open to learning. Martha Stewart once said, "If you learn something new every day, you can teach something new every day." Education is a give and take, and the more effort everyone puts into it, the more we will progress and benefit as a society.